Guys, feast your eyes on this super ultra sexy Buell RS1200, considered by most of our staff members here at the New England Motorcycle Museum and most of the people we know that have seen it as one of the most desirable and highly collectible of all the Buells that we have. This one here, if you look at the Buell origin chart here, the history of Buell timeline, this is the first production motorcycle that Eric had produced, the RS1200 Westwind from 89 to 92. Other than that, he had the R1200 Battle Twin, the RR1000 Battle Twin, and the RW750 that he first made in 83. His first 6 years of production were road racing only. And he made some badass Harley-Davidson powered road racing bikes that battled on the banks of Daytona and all over the world. This RS1200 was the first one that he made for the street, and the frame was the same design and geometry of what he had on the road racing track only bike. So for the first time ever, there was a performance American powered, Harley-Davidson powered motorcycle available for the public, and they were pricey. I have the original factory sales receipt when it rolled off the floor, including the original owner's manual, and I have the title to it. It was $14,539 in 1992. If you punch that into an inflation calculator today, in 2025, that's $31,500, which isn't bad for a handmade, limited production work of art, which is really what this bike is. We're on the second floor of the New England Motorcycle Museum. These bikes are works of art. This one's all original, except for the exhaust system. Those rims that are on there are Performance Machine chicanes. I was talking to one of the guys from Performance Machine. He said those rims today, I had them on an FXR. I said they were worth about $5,000. They said they're basically priceless because they were made limited production, made completely different than the rims today. And if you look closely, they're absolutely gorgeous. That's not chrome, that's polished aluminum. This bike is the original paint. It's never been dropped or abused. It has a history of, it was owned by Rob Myers, who was the owner of the Eric Buell Racing Motor Clothing Company, where they would sell the Buell helmets and jackets and riding gear and accessories and coffee cups and all that stuff. And he had a beautiful collection of Buells. This was one of his favorites, along with the M2 Cyclone. He loved riding that one too. But an iconic piece of classic American muscle history right here. And one of the cool features of the RS1200 is it looks like a racing cowling on the back here, but it can be flipped up as a passenger backrest. I'll show that in a minute. But the bodywork is stunning on it. It's mechanically and electrically a 10. Everything works perfectly, and cosmetically, it's as close to a 10 as you'd ever get for a 1992 original unrestored motorcycle. It's just been carefully maintained. Rob stored these in his house under cloth Buell covers on a tender and maintained them meticulously by having the Buell factory techs that worked at the factory maintain his bike. So these weren't maintained by an average Joe Blow at a local shop. He had it done by guys from the Buell factory. So we went through it too here at our shop. I'll give you a quick rundown on it. We just put a new Yuasa heavy-duty battery. We charged it, installed it, and included a new battery tender lead so you can leave it plugged in. The carburetor was removed, disassembled, cleaned, and inspected, reassembled and reinstalled with a new gasket to the carb. A brand new air filter was installed. Replaced the throttle cable with a new throttle cable. Drained, rinsed, and inspected the fuel tank. Removed the electronic petcocks. Cleaned and then treated the fuel tank with a brand new Caswell liner. Reinstalled the petcocks and tank, put new fuel lines on it, put fresh VP94 ethanol-free fuel in it, along with new Bel-Ray 2850 engine oil with a new oil filter, new transmission oil, new drain plug crush washer, cleaned and inspected the drive sprockets, and installed a brand new EK heavy-duty gold final drive chain, which I think looks beautiful with this spectacular red paint job and the polished aluminum all over this bike. The engine cases were polished. Our detail shop went through and gave a pro polish on all the aluminum on this bike, so it shines like brand new. We also installed a brand new Gustafson windshield and replaced all the original turn signals, and all the electrical functions were tested and working perfectly. The tires were replaced by Rob. They've got a couple thousand miles on them, still plenty of tread left on them. The bike was carefully hand washed. We didn't power wash this thing. It's way too exclusive of a bike to risk damaging, so we hand washed it, polished it, and waxed it to perfection, and polished all the aluminum, including the engine cases, the exhaust, the wheels, the forks, and all the cycle parts. It's stunning. It looks beautiful on the wood floor here in the second floor of the New England Motorcycle Museum. It's going to be put in our lineup of Buells over here. We've got Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Buell. We've got 3 of the 1190 RSs. We've got the White Lightning. We've got Dale Earnhardt. We got the Cycle World Buell Thunderbolt. I've got a Buell Blast. We've got a whole bunch of Buells here. You have to come check them out next summer when the museum opens. And we also have the brand new Buell Hammerhead and the 1190 SX Street Fighter. So this was Buell's first production street legal motorcycle, and it turned heads. In fact, turned Harley Davidson's head, and in 1993, Harley Davidson bought 49% of the Buell motorcycle company for, I think it was $500,000 if I'm not mistaken, which sounds like excuse me, it was 1998. He had already produced 20,000 motorcycles, and Buell sold 49% of his company to Harley Davidson. So, and then I think it was, what year was it? He sold the remainder of it to them later. I'd have to read the chart here to figure that out. But sorry, I had it right. Harley Davidson purchased a minority interest of Buell Motorcycle Company in 1993, as you can see here. And then in 98, he sold 49% of the company to Harley Davidson. So in any event, the rest is kind of history. They ended up owning the whole company, and then, well, when times got tough, they closed the Buell Motor Company, and then Eric went on his own with Eric Buell Racing, so, and created those EBR 1190s, including that 1190 RS right behind you right there. That's one of one. They made 100 of those, and this was the only one that came from the factory with a red, white, and blue paint job on it. It's all carbon fiber, titanium, and billet aluminum. It's just, that bike was $46,000 out the door in 2012, which is like 65 grand in today's dollars. But they're always kind of pricey, but think about it, for 31 grand to get a handmade American sport bike with the best suspension and brakes of its time, it's actually a pretty good deal. So before he finally closed his doors, he had sold 137,000 Buells, and then Bill Melvin purchased the company from him, and it continues today with the Buell motorcycles, including this is a 2025 Buell Hammerhead, the red, white, and blue, the Patriot Edition. We also have one of one, the only orange one ever made, and then I've got the carbon fiber edition where the whole body on that it's unpainted carbon fiber. It looks black from 10 feet away, but you get up close, you can see the whole bike is just dripping with carbon fiber. But back to this one here. This is a beautiful piece. If you can see, for the time, to get an inverted fork with a 6-piston performance machine caliper is really a pretty spectacular brake setup. Floating rotor, lightweight aluminum rims. The original Harley Davidson Sportster powered 1203cc engine is in mint original condition. Does have the Screaming Eagle free-flowing air filter on there. You can see it has the original stickers on there, the EPA stickers on the frame. If you look over here, it has the original stickers on the frame for the DOT fluid. The frame's never been repainted. It's all original and in mint condition. If you're looking for an RS1200, well, for this particular year, the stats are extremely rare. 89 to 92. They built a total of 208. In 1992, they made 29 of these, as you can see, in 92. A little less than half of them were exported overseas, and they came in blue, red, and several other colors. So I think there's probably a half dozen of these in this color that were originally made. I don't have the exact numbers, because this is right off of Buell's factory website. We printed that off, and they didn't break it down in the colors, but 29 were made in 1992, 33 years ago. Maybe of that, a half dozen of them in this color, and this is the only one I know of. This was on the cover of the 25 Years of Buell magazine, and I'm pretty sure this was the exact bike that was on the cover of, actually it was a book, 25 Years of Buell. I just got done reading it a couple months ago. But spectacular piece. It really is a beautiful piece of, and a significant piece of motor history, being Eric's first production street bike. I know this turned the heads of some Harley engineers when they saw this, but check this out. Riding solo, want to bring the wife for a ride? No more flying off the back, because this is like the perfect backrest. She'll be leaning forward, hanging onto you a little bit, because it's a sport bike mode, Eric designed this to be ergonomically correct for the passenger, and it has the pegs for the passenger also. And then when you drop her off, back to sport bike mode. I've never seen that on another production bike, but this is one of one available in the world today. It's the only 92 RS1200 in this color for sale. So, and it's probably the nicest remaining one. It was owned by the owner of the Buell Motor Company. It's on display on the second floor of the New England Motorcycle Museum in our Buell display here, and it's going to be available for sale. So if you're interested, give Junior a call, 860-471-0192. This one won't be around for long. It's a diamond. I wish you didn't have to sell it, but I can't, you know, to keep the doors open here, we can't keep them all. Thanks for watching. God bless America, and long live Buell.